describe kind of what went into that decision with the games next week with UNO and Baylor, and will that be a home series then next year for you with Baylor?
Well, there's not much decision to make. I mean, you can't really play, but we had a home-and-home schedule with Baylor. I think we open up there next year. We'll find a mutual date in the future to have them return the trip, but just we got to get the games in, and this is about the only thing we can do.
So you would still play at Baylor next year then?
Yeah, we'll go down there still. I think we open up there, and then we'll just have to find something in the future of a fourth or fifth weekend where they can return the trip here.
Yeah. Are you kind of already looking around for games now? I mean, it's conference play before you get out on the field. How do you kind of approach that?
Well, it's not ideal, that's for sure, but there's a lot of northern teams that are kind of in the same boat, so I think finding games and teams isn't going to be necessarily the issue. It's going to be coordinated with school and midweek and class days missed and all that stuff, but right now we're just kind of to see where it all ends up.
What was the message to the team after last weekend?
I was pretty hard on them. I thought we backed down a little bit. It's just tough to really get a feel for exactly where we're at when, I'm going to give them a little bit of a break. I mean, we haven't been out, even for playing down there, you expect to go down there and get some full practices in. We get down there Wednesday, get stuck in traffic. We only have till 8 o'clock to practice. We get an hour. Then you're at a spring training site where we're hitting at high school fields while it's raining, so you can't get to hit. We show and go twice, where you don't get to take in and out before the game. So, you're playing a team that's been down there for 2 weeks and doing stuff. You just haven't been able to get into our rhythm. We've taken one full pregame batting practice like we would before a game this season. That was the first game of the year. So some of that stuff is out of our control, and I'm going to be patient with it. But yeah, they haven't been getting the reps on the field like we'd like them to. I know we're going to be inside. We got great indoor facilities, but you're also anticipating that you're going to be outside before your games when you go down south, and that just hasn't happened. So, this week we'll hit in the cages, but we'll get our infield practice before the game, which will be very good. But we'll just go from there.
When you say backing down, what do you mean by that, and what did you see that made you?
Oh, just the talk. Just the talk. I didn't see the communication on the field, in the dugout. It just seemed like it was a little bit more quiet. I believe these guys are fighters. I really do, and I've said that. But right now we're convenient fighters. Sometimes you're going to have to go toe to toe with somebody that's bigger and badder than you are, and you've got to be able to go get them. And we haven't got to that point yet, but I'm confident we will. But it was a learning lesson for our guys, and it really showed too that when you make those little mistakes, free passes, errors against a quality opponent, they make you pay. And on the flip side, they just don't give you that. We didn't get any of our free 90s that we got the weekend before at Riverside and took advantage of them. They just don't make those mistakes. They make you hit your way on. We had a couple games where we got a few walks in there, hit by pitch, but when we got guys in scoring position, it's just the anxiousness, the tension was there, and we've got to get through that.
Colby, Kyle, Shea, sending those young guys out against the defending national champs. How much do you think that helped them? What do you say to them after outings like that?
Well, you analyze how, talk to them and see what they're feeling.
Yes.
And this young group, like I've said before, they think they're pretty good. And, I think by kind of catching their attention now and seeing that, say, hey, this is why every rep inside means a big deal, even whether you're not on a field or not, every rep in the weight room. But sometimes we can get, we go out and play somebody and maybe we take advantage of the mistakes, and you build kind of that false confidence that you don't see what's really out there. And we're in the midst of seeing what's really out there, and, catches their attention and puts the value on just how much work you have to do between starts or between games.
Anything in particular that struck you in hindsight about Oregon State as you think about that program, what you saw up close?
No, they've obviously built a culture of winning. They walk on the field, they expect to win. And, it's one of those things where, and it's rightfully so, they deserve it. They have a very good program on the mound. They're just deep. They can mix their pitches. And we all know every hitter has a weakness to get to. They expose those at a very high level. And normally in college baseball, you don't see that type of command from an entire staff.
Okay.
The whole thing is, build the pitch count of the starting pitcher up, get to the middle of relief where that might be the weak link of most teams. They don't have that. So, and they're just a very solid team. They play very the respect for the game, I respect their program very much because they just go about their business in a very, work-like attitude, and they just never stop, and they play baseball the right way.
You've talked a lot about embracing a tough schedule.
Yep.
and seeing the best so the guys know what the standard is, no false confidence. When you're in the midst of it and maybe you do get swept at Oregon State, what's the challenge as a coach to keep the confidence up as that learning process is going on?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's this game. This game is a game of failure. I mean, you're going to, if we're ever going to get over the hump and get to the next level, we have got to be able to go toe to toe with these teams. Be able to play your game regardless of what the quality of your opponent is. And we talk about that all the time. But until you actually go out there and do it, I mean, it looked like we got stunned a little bit. And was I expecting that response? I'm not saying I was 100% confident we wouldn't get some of that, but I did think I'd see a little bit more fight. And, but again, it's a good learning lesson. We do have fighters on this team, and I truly believe deep down once they, get comfortable and get outside and get into a routine, I think they're going to be just fine.
What do you think?
Do you see that from the young guys? I mean, is it the young guys that are?
I think it's just overall, it's just, I guess my best way I would put it is you just got to become numb to playing those teams. And I just, for me, again, it's just that's what they want to come here for, right? This is what kids want to do. They want to play the best. They all say it. Well, I'm going to give it to them. And sometimes you just, again, if we play good defense this last weekend, those games are a lot closer. They just are. And we didn't do that. We just gave them way too many free passes, and that ended up being the difference. And we got ourselves in situations where the one or two guys in our lineup that we don't want to let beat us, we created innings for them. And when you do that, you're going to pay.
Have you felt their confidence take a hit, or are they taking a bigger picture approach, kind of like you're saying, where they're getting better and learning?
I don't see a dip in it, but I mean, I'm sure everybody's going to talk about that, but I don't see that. Again, we look at just. Again, I just don't see that. We haven't gotten a flow of playing our game, and until we get a chance to do that, I'm not going to really be able to really nail down every little last piece of this.
What's your rotation look like?
We're still working on that. So.
Do you know who game one will be?
No, not yet. So they're throwing pens today. We're going to match it up to play to win, and we're just with each team that we're facing presents a little bit different challenge. So we're probably going to mix it up a little bit.
How'd you get out of there health wise?
Henwood, he hurt his shoulder on that dive, made a great play. Other than that, we're pretty good.
Is he good? Is he out?
Yeah, he'll be out for an extended period of time.
Okay.
How about Roscom? Did he have like a finger or something? Or?
Something with his thumb, but I mean, it's nothing's wrong with
He'd be good to go.
Yeah, I mean, when he's ready, I mean, he's traveling, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Were you pleased with the way some of your bullpen pitch? I mean, Waldron came in and gave you some nice innings and
Edens.
Yeah, no, I mean, Reese, you could see some of that anxiousness first weekend of his start and wasn't super sharp, and he came out and that's what we've seen inside. I mean, he's been very sharp, and he was that. And Mike was huge. Mike's not going to overpower you with stuff, but he can really pitch, and he executed exactly what we needed him to do, and he kept them off balance, and that was great to see. Overall, I think that from what we've seen inside and what we've seen in the fall, there's some guys that need to increase their stuff, get back to where they need to be. There's just that part of that's there's maybe some uneasiness there, but we've got to attack those guys, and I don't see us attacking with their best stuff on a consistent basis.
When you guys were in Frisco 2 years ago when you beat Arizona, can you kind of speak to what the value of that win was as the season went on? What kind of boost it gave?
It's huge. I mean, they were. I think they were coming off. Was that the year after they came off their College World Series thing? And yeah, obviously you walk in there and you can talk all you want about playing a blank jersey, but our guys see it. Then you have to be able to get through that. You play Oklahoma State, you play Arkansas, and get your teeth kicked in that game. And but those are, we found a way to win that last game, which was huge. And we're in a similar situation this tournament where we've got some young guys that really haven't been through that, and we're going to grow up in a hurry.